Good evening, I'm Andrew Nichols, and this is The National. A Winnipeg family strikes it rich, but only for an instant.
One bad call cost me $1 million, and I don't think it's fair.
How the CFL and others have tried to make good. Sears executives get extra pay to stay, while laid-off workers can't even get severance.
What's happening now doesn't feel like the Sears that I know.
So why does it work that way? Last night's string of acid attacks in London.
There was a scream which was not normal.
But this type of assault is becoming all too common. Plus, CSIS employees sue, alleging their workplace is toxic.
Raises serious questions about how that can impact their investigations.
Imagine finding out you had suddenly become a millionaire. The surge of relief and excitement about all the bills you could pay, the plans you could make, the dreams you could fulfill. But then, just as quickly, it's all snatched away like a cruel joke. That's what one Winnipeg woman and her family are going through, all over a controversial call at a football game. Karen Pauls explains.
Martese Jackson gets the edge.
For Karen and Stanley Kuldis, the score on the field wasn't the only thing they cared about last night after seeing this announcement.
Karen Kuldis of Winnipeg. You could win a $25,000 home theater package from Vision.
Which she did. But what if there was a second return for a touchdown?
Well, you could also win $1 million. Good luck, Karen.
He's loose.
When they saw Jackson cross the goal line, they thought she'd won the $1 million.
And he has his second return touchdown.
A big touchdown until this controversial call.
But hold on. Flag back at the 25. It will not be a touchdown.
One bad call cost me $1 million, and I don't think it's fair.
Karen's husband Stanley wasn't too pleased either.
We're out $1 million. It should have been $1 million in our pocket. I'm pissed off.
That was a touchdown. That should not have been called back. In no way is that an illegal block to the back penalty. Matter of fact, the argument can be made that the Winnipeg player was actually the one who initiated the contact.
Social media took off immediately, and within hours, the hashtag #WhatAboutKaren was trending. By mid-afternoon, the CFL had invited Karen Kuldis and her family to be VIP guests at the Grey Cup in Ottawa this fall. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are giving them 2 years of season tickets. Safeway and Sobeys are kicking in a year's worth of groceries, and they're getting 500,000 air miles. In a statement, CFL Commissioner Randy Ambrosie addressed that costly on-field call, saying, "It was a very tough call made by our official last night, one that could have gone either way, and we have to respect their decisions." So, is Karen Kuldis satisfied?
How do you say no without making yourself look like it's a game? It was a contest. It was, you know what I mean? But still, I think it's wrong that they made a call, and everybody knows that it was a bad call, and that touchdown should have counted, and I should have won the $1 million.
She's not retiring from her job at A&W, or paying off the mortgage, or helping her family. But there is this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. It's a 82-inch smart TV that's curved with 4 motorized theater seats, and it's awesome, yeah.
What are you going to watch?
Bombers, of course, but not that linesman.
Not quite a touchdown, but she'll take the field goal. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Winnipeg.
So what's the approximate value of the consolation prize for Karen and her family? Let's do some math. Return flights from Winnipeg to Ottawa are about $525 each. For 4 people, that's $2,100. Hotels are about $300 a night on Grey Cup weekend. So let's say 3 nights in 2 rooms, that's $1,800. And assuming those VIP Grey Cup seats are the top tier at $525 each, that's another $2,100. Karen and family also get Blue Bombers season tickets for this year and next year. So that's as much as $7,200. And the year's worth of groceries? According to Statistics Canada, Manitoba families spend on average $8,500 a year on food. And finally, the $25,000 theater system she's already won. Grand total, $46,700, which is a fine prize without question, but it's a little shy of $1 million. Earlier today, I spoke with Karen Kuldis. We'll bring you that conversation in about 20 minutes. We're learning more about the restructuring at Sears Canada. The collapsing retailer plans to hand out millions of dollars in bonuses to executives, even while the ship continues to sink. Our business correspondent, Renee Filipponi, joins me now to explain what's going on. So, Renee, why would Sears Canada give out these big bonuses?
Well, Andrew, the bonuses are part of this key employee retention program. And this is very common when a company is undergoing a restructuring like Sears is right now. So 43 executives and senior managers will get a total of $7.6 million. Now, an employment lawyer described it as a necessary evil. And the fear is that the top talent you need on board during this whole restructuring process will jump ship. And these bonuses are a way to keep them around. And restructuring is the best outcome for the companies and the creditors who are all looking to recoup costs.
So what's the response been so far?
Yeah, for the thousands of employees who were shown the door with no severance, their benefits cut, this isn't sitting well at all. And today the NDP weighed in, calling the payouts shameful and obscene. There are also complaints the bankruptcy process itself is broken, and employees and pensioners have no protection like banks and lenders.
We need to be the secured creditors. We have dedicated our time, our loyalty to this company and made it what it was. And I'm hoping that it continues to do well. I really do. But give us our share.
And talks are underway for a hardship fund, but there are also ongoing concerns about the retirees because the pension is underfunded. So Sears has been topping it up, but was given court approval to stop doing that in September, which means there isn't enough money there, and it could mean reduced pensions down the road.
All right, Renee, thank you.
You're
Renee
welcome.
Filipponi. Canada's spy agency is now itself under close watch after 5 of its own employees filed a $35 million lawsuit. They claim CSIS is a toxic place to work, saying racism, homophobia, and Islamophobia are in the very DNA of the culture. And today, the Prime Minister weighed in on all of this. Katie Simpson has more.
Calls are getting louder for an investigation of the investigators. Demands triggered after 5 CSIS employees launched a lawsuit over allegations of racism, sexism, and homophobia in the workplace.
When you're seeing these kinds of discriminatory things being said by an agency that has such broad powers, it certainly causes us great concern.
The 54-page complaint claims unidentified staffers were subject to a range of abuses, including the use of slurs and derogatory language over several years. One manager is accused of sending an email saying, "Careful your Muslim in-laws don't behead you in your sleep for being a homo." Another allegedly said at a social gathering, "All Muslims are terrorists." Lawyers claim CSIS is a workplace rife with discrimination, harassment, bullying, and abuse of authority.
Just so you're aware, my clients are very concerned for their own well-being, but had to take the step they did since they've tried for a long, long time to get some sort of informal resolution internal to the organization, and it just never happened.
While the allegations have not been proven in court, the new director of CSIS says he takes the claims seriously, adding the agency does not tolerate harassment, discrimination, or bullying under any circumstances. A sentiment echoed by the Prime Minister.
We are committed to working as a government to ensure that this kind of harassment does not happen and will not happen.
Though Trudeau did not commit to an investigation, civil liberties watchdogs say Canadians should demand transparency on this issue.
Raises serious questions just about if that's the opinions and culture of managers at CSIS about how that can impact their investigations.
But a former director of CSIS thinks it's too early to call for an investigation and denies the agency has a toxic workplace.
I find it improbable that the service itself has a systemic problem. The service itself is made up of people from different ethnic backgrounds and different religious backgrounds.
Lawyers are now waiting to see if more employees come forward. If CSIS wants to fight the lawsuit, it has about a month to formally respond. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Ottawa.
Coming up.
The meds, I need them. I need to have them.
But medication for mental illness can lead to dangerous weight gain. We look at solutions to a healthcare dilemma. Plus, a farmer's market returns to the World Trade Center. One vendor has a startling memory from 9/11. Honda is recalling more than 2 million cars worldwide. The problem is with recent model Accords. Nearly 52,000 Canadian customers are affected. Honda says there's a risk the battery could catch fire because it may not be properly sealed. There have been 5 reported engine fires, including one in Canada. The Air Canada jet that had a near miss at San Francisco's airport last week was 30 meters away from a crash. That's according to a preliminary report from the Transportation Safety Board. Pilots on Flight 759 mistakenly descended towards a taxiway and narrowly missed 4 planes. Air Canada says it's conducting its own investigation and is cooperating with authorities. The Winnipeg woman found guilty of hiding the remains of 6 infants in a storage locker has been sentenced to 8.5 years in prison. The judge said Andrea Giesbrecht has not demonstrated any remorse and said her behavior needed to be denounced. Business and trade were the Prime Minister's main focus in Rhode Island today. Justin Trudeau met with dozens of state governors and U.S. Vice President Mike Pence. His goal, to sell the Americans on preserving NAFTA and the billions of dollars in trade it brings to both countries. Tom Perry was there.
Justin Trudeau came looking for friends, and today in Rhode Island, he found them. U.S. governors greeted the Prime Minister warmly and listened eagerly to his message of close ties and open markets across the Canada-U.S. border.
The relationship between our countries is historic. It is a model to the world. It is of critical importance for people on both sides of the border that we maintain and indeed improve it. We must get this right.
Trudeau is searching for allies in his fight to save NAFTA from a U.S. president threatening to tear it up. He shared the stage today with Trump's VP, Mike Pence, who tried to sound a more hopeful tone than his boss.
With Canada and Mexico, and under this president's leadership, we will modernize NAFTA for the 21st century so it is a win-win-win for all of our trading partners in North America.
Trudeau met privately today with Pence and several governors. Trade and investment on the agenda throughout the day. Wisconsin's Governor Scott Walker has tangled with Canada over dairy exports, but even he came away sounding positive about North American trade.
I don't think it needs to blow it up. I think it needs to be improved. And again, the more that you have a level playing field, the better off. And we want to have a level playing field with our partners in places like Canada.
Trudeau is the first Canadian Prime Minister to speak at this governor's conference. A Canadian who helped organize the event says it's a wise move.
My sense is that they're influencers, and they're strong influencers in this government. So it can't hurt in that context for the Prime Minister, ministers, and premiers to maintain this dialogue and build allies among the governors. It's not about going around the president. It's actually building up a more kind of nuanced, sophisticated, deeper relationship with Americans on their terms.
Justin Trudeau may be courting support amongst governors, but ultimately it's the administration of Donald Trump that will decide whether the U.S. remains in NAFTA. With talks on renegotiating the deal set to begin soon, Canada may need all the friends it can get. Tom Perry, CBC News, Providence, Rhode Island.
After an unlikely display of romantic backslapping in Paris with the French president, Donald Trump is back in the United States and back to the saga of scandal over his campaign's ties to Russia. Today, a fresh revelation about the meeting his son, son-in-law, and campaign manager had with a Russian lawyer. There was someone else in that room, a former Soviet counterintelligence officer. Chris O'Neill Yates has more.
Another twist in that meeting with the Russian lawyer.
There isn't anything else there.
Despite Donald Trump Jr.'s assurances to Fox News earlier this week that there were no more revelations to come, a Russian-American lobbyist has admitted to being in that room. This is not the first time that Rinat Akhmetshin's name has come up in connection with ongoing investigations. In April, the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee wrote to the Department of Homeland Security asking for information on his lobbyist registration, saying that Akhmetshin had admitted to being a Soviet counterintelligence officer, citing reports that he specialized in subversive political influence operations, often involving disinformation and propaganda. Today, Akhmetshin denied any connection to Russian intelligence agencies. Trump Jr.'s credibility is finished, says this Republican strategist.
This kid has been lying for the last year. He has been lying publicly. He has been lying emphatically. He has been lying with indignation. He has been lying plain and simple.
The only person known to be in that meeting who is currently working in the White House is Jared Kushner, senior advisor to the president and his son-in-law. Kushner initially didn't disclose this meeting and 2 other meetings with Russians in his security clearance form. Democrats today took aim at Kushner.
I think Jared Kushner ought to resign.
I also called for the revoking of the security clearance for Jared Kushner. It's absolutely ridiculous that he should have that clearance.
At last count, there were reportedly 8 people in that room. Were there others? And does that Russian American have connections to Russian intelligence? So many questions, yet so few answers. Chris O'Neill Yates, CBC News, Washington.
The revelations around that meeting between Trump Jr. and Veselnitskaya has been called a bombshell by some, proof of collusion. But President Trump has called it something else, transparency on the part of his, quote, high-quality son. Donald Trump Jr.'s transparency has evolved over time. When the New York Times broke the story on Saturday, he said only that the meeting was about Russia's adoption policy. On Sunday, as the Times contradicted that account, Trump Jr. admitted that compromising information about Hillary Clinton was offered, but stressed no one going to the meeting knew Veselnitskaya's name. Only on Monday, as the Times was preparing to publish his emails, did Trump Jr. do so himself, revealing that heading into the meeting, they'd been told the promised dirt on Clinton was sensitive information, provided by the Russian government to aid the Trump campaign. Now we've learned something else Trump Jr. failed to mention, the presence of Mr. Akhmetshin. Today, a Jerusalem holy site sacred both to Jews and Muslims was the scene of bloodshed. Police released video showing attackers, identified as 3 Arab Israelis, emerging from inside the site with automatic weapons. They fatally wounded 2 Israeli police officers, triggering a battle. The attackers were killed by police. Authorities closed the site to prayers, a move that alarmed Muslims. The Israeli government says it will be reopened soon. This attack comes amid clashes between Palestinians and Israeli security forces in the West Bank. Israeli forces killed 1 Palestinian teenager today and 2 other Palestinian men during a raid on Wednesday. A series of overnight attacks has left London distraught and at least 1 victim with injuries described as life-changing. 2 teenagers have been arrested. Their motive appears to be theft, but the horror tonight comes from the means. All 5 attacks involved spraying acid on victims. Susan Ormiston has the details.
5 acid attacks in just over an hour, one of them on this East London street. The attackers rode up on a scooter alongside another man on his own scooter and sprayed him with acid, momentarily blinding him until police rushed to him with jugs of water.
Is it hurting your eyes? We need to try and get water in your eyes.
A man who lives right in one of these buildings leaned out and saw it all happen.
There was a scream which was not normal. It was a fearful, petrified scream. Two times. One of the officers said to him quite firmly, you know, I'm going to pour this into your eyes, keep your eyes open. And the guy did exactly what he was told because obviously he was in shock.
Police have arrested 2 teenagers, aged 15 and 16, linking them to all 5 of the attacks. One of the victims, a delivery driver for a local food company. Police believe the attackers wanted to steal the scooters, but they add to a disturbing and growing trend of acid attacks in the UK. Acid used as a weapon against people, spiking sharply up last year to over 220 cases, nearly double that of 2015. And the upward trend has continued into this year. They've happened on the streets, in a nightclub. Many were gang-related and some possibly motivated by hate. Jamil Mukhtar and his cousin were sprayed with acid sitting in their car at a traffic light last month.
Within seconds, my cousin started screaming. Her eyes had blistered, her face started melting, my face started melting. My clothes started to burn.
Police suspect with crackdowns on gangland weapons, petty criminals are resorting to an age-old threat: corrosive substances, easily obtained at hardware stores.
I don't want people to think that this is happening all over London all of the time. It's really not, but we are concerned because the numbers appear to be going up.
UK politicians had already scheduled a debate on Monday on this particularly vile, growing trend. Last night's spree will add heat to that debate. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, London.
Straight ahead, we'll hear more from the Winnipeg woman whose golden chance disappeared. How do you go back to work after missing out on $1 million? A CFL game turned a Winnipeg woman into a millionaire last night, and then just as quickly as it came, the money was gone. It looks like Karen Kuldes won a $1 million touchdown contest, but refs called a controversial penalty, and the money evaporated. I spoke with Karen about her roller coaster experience earlier today on CBC News Network. So Karen, you were so close to winning $1 million. You missed out, but barely. So many people in the country are rooting for you today. There's even a hashtag on Twitter with your name. How does that make you feel?
That makes me feel, oh my God, thank you, Canada, for rallying for me. It's awesome.
And you're quite emotional about it, aren't you, to see all this support?
Well, yeah, it's been a roller coaster all day. I'm totally exhausted. I don't even think I slept last night, and I was up at 4:30 for work this morning, and it's been up and down, up and down.
Oh, boy.
To think I was so close to $1 million.
Wow. And so what was work like today? What were you thinking about?
I was in a daze all day. My co-workers are wonderful. They helped me get through the day. And yeah, I had phone calls all day. And yeah, it's been pretty surreal.
I bet. Okay, so I understand now that the CFL commissioner, Randy Ambrosie, has spoken to you. Tell us what he said to you. And what do you think about that?
Well, he said on behalf of the CFL and Sobeys and Safeway, my family of 4 will go to the Grey Cup in Ottawa, and 2 years of season tickets, and free groceries for a year from Safeway Sobe, and it's like awesome. But still, it's not $1 million.
It's not $1 million.
Not to sound greedy, but it's not $1 million.
No, I don't think you sound greedy at all. You were so close. So can you take us through that moment when you thought you had won $1 million and then you realized it was gone?
No, I didn't even think I won $1 million. I was in the kitchen cleaning up after supper, and my daughter yelled, "Mom, touchdown!" So I ran into the living room. Yeah, right on. Oh, I can't believe it. Bomber's got a touchdown right off the first kick of the game. That's awesome. So I went back doing my dishes, and then the phone rang, and it was my son. And he said that his mother-in-law just called him, Karen won something. So I just assumed that it was something like a watch or pots and pans or whatever it may be, you know. And then all of a sudden they showed it that it was a $25,000 entertainment package. It was like, oh my God. So then my husband Googled it, and we don't really know that. Well, he told me, like, you know, no, you do. If they do it again, you win $1 million. I said, no, I don't believe you. So then I don't really believe him. And then as Jackson was running down the field, my husband started, Karen, if he gets his touchdown, and even before I could finish his telling me this, they went, oh my God, there's a flag. And then all of a sudden one of the commentators said that was like $1 million bad call. And then I realized my husband was right. I did have a chance to win $1 million. I would have been jumping up and down, but I didn't believe him. I didn't think he knew what he was talking about.
So then you lost it. So then how did you feel?
It was my husband was pretty upset. It kind of just didn't really hit me, like thinking, I don't even think he's right. But then they kept saying my name, and I guess he was right. They kept saying, oh, poor Karen Colas, what about Karen, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, so then it started to hit me, and then the phone started ringing, and my friends started calling, and family started calling, and yeah, it was pretty awesome.
And so was your husband was upset because a lot of people felt like it was a bad call, right? That
and even I knew it was a bad call when I saw it. I'm not even like I'm a professional fan. Like I'm more like an armchair fan. I go to the game for the fun of it and cheer on the Bombers like a true Winnipegger would. Yeah, so he was pretty upset because he's an avid CFL fan, and he knows the rules. I don't know the rules. And I even could tell that it wasn't a bad play or a flag play. The linesman threw the flag.
So if you had, I don't mean to make you go through this, but if you had won $1 million, what would you
Well,
this almost feels like unfair to ask you this, but how would you have used it?
No, my first thought, like, if I would have won $1 million, my daughter's due back to work after maternity leave, and she didn't quite make it for the 18 months. They changed the rule on that. So first thing I thought was, my daughter's going to stay home with baby until she goes to school. That was my very first thought.
Well, that is a nice thought. So what do you make of, the CFL, they issued this update. So besides that $25,000 home theater package, I think you're getting also, are you getting 500,000 air miles or something like that?
I know, I just found that out from a lady here at CBC. Yeah, that's worth $50,000, 500,000 air miles, she told me.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's awesome. Because I'm an avid air miler, like I collect air miles, I redeem them. Yeah, I'm big time into air miles.
All right, well, you know what, Karen, it was nice to talk to you. It's nice to see that you're kind of taking this in stride.
But I think when I go home, I think I'm just probably going to sit down and have a big old cry. No, I think I really will, because the emotions are going up and down. What else do? You either laugh or cry. So I think I'm going to go home and have a good cry, and then I'll feel better tomorrow.
You know what? I think that sounds like a good plan. Maybe a hot bath and a good long cry.
Yeah.
All right.
It'll be like a sad one and a happy one.
Okay. Well, Karen, it was a pleasure meeting you and talking to you. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you.
Just so close. Coming up, a new movie raises concerns that it's glamorizing eating disorders.
I think it's very easy to look at someone who's struggling with anorexia, and many people might think, how do I do that? Or how do I get that thin?
Plus, a school for fighting hackers is planned for the same site where British brains broke Nazi secrets. But first, let's take a look at the day's business numbers. The TSX gained 39 points. The dollar briefly topped 79 cents US, but ended the day slightly lower. In New York, the Dow ended the week at a record high, and the price of oil rose by 46 cents a barrel.
The National with Knowlton Nash.
Good evening and welcome to rainy Vancouver and Expo 86.
The province they call supernatural is ready. They've been drilling, painting, cleaning, and checking all week.
I think everyone's relatively calm.
There's everything here, from the world's biggest flagpole to the world's biggest hockey stick and the world's biggest hockey puck. You never know what you'll see next, and you never know who you're going to meet next. There's the mascot of the fair, Expo Ernie.
Well, bless my little robotic heart. It's Knowlton Nash and the crew from the National. How do you do? Glad to have you here.
Expo is a fair about transportation, so this state-of-the-art monorail was a natural. For the first 2 months, it kept breaking down, but now it's carrying capacity crowds.
The sun shone for the first time in weeks in Vancouver today, and with the sun, Expo 86 came alive. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people got to see the fair for the first time. Being Saturday, it was a big day for the children. And for children, what counts at a fair is the fun. There was no shortage of that.
Just great. It's bringing the whole country together, too.
$5,000 is spent every night by Expo for a computerized laser and fireworks show. It's called International Nights of Fire.
We've never seen fireworks like that before.
Oh, that was awesome. At 86th Street, they party with the Powder Blues Band, and they obey the rules to eat, drink, and go crazy. When they first opened, these nightclubs had so many customers, things sometimes got out of hand. So extra doormen were hired. Proper dress is now required. The people who don't like dress codes still have a place to go, though. At the Irish pub, there doesn't seem to be any code at all.
Expo has done itself proud. That's great.
They did well.
I enjoyed myself like no other time.
It's the best thing that ever happened to British Columbia and to me.
I love it. I've had a great time here.
When we said in the House of Commons that was the most ridiculous policy ever, then if you will just wait, the truth will be given to you.
To unfurl a flag that is truly distinctive and truly national in character, as Canadian as the maple leaf on your badge.
When the cavalcade rolled up to a stage where Trudeau was to make remarks in support of the local candidates, he was confronted by sign-carrying hecklers again. This time protesting high unemployment. Trudeau's response, as it has been throughout this campaign, was to fight back.
Yeah, we saw you last night with your painted and hired signs and your hired friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of you holding signs like little boys. Come on, go and look for some jobs.
No, you're lost without your notes.
This lady just wouldn't give up and kept up a barrage of one-liners throughout the speech.
Are you running as a rhinoceros or as a liberal? Eh?
No rah-rah speeches! The truth!
Mulroney was frequently interrupted by a large and unusually provocative group of hecklers, most of them striking workers at the Gainers meatpacking plant in Edmonton. Mulroney appealed for calm, didn't get it, and didn't like it.
You can yell and you can scream all you want. I've fought bigger and better people than you, and I'll do it again.
As the Prime Minister continued toward his car, he came face to face with one of the demonstrators. Suddenly, Chrétien took the man by the back of the neck. His other hand was over the protester's mouth. He pushed him aside. Seconds later, another protester approached the Prime Minister. Chrétien knocked over the bullhorn that was in his hand.
But he was right in front of me, shouting and trying to block my way, so I took him out.
It's almost as if patients have to choose between which chronic illness that they're prepared to accept.
Some psychiatric drugs can lead to weight gain. Researchers have known that for a long time, but now some doctors are confronting the consequences. With weight gain comes higher risk of heart disease and diabetes, meaning mental health could cost patients their physical health. As Christine Burak explains, the quest is to find a way to balance both.
So come on in, I'm just going to do your weigh-in.
Okay.
Okay.
Gunther Hertz has been battling mental illness, including bipolar disorder, for more than 2 decades. Therapy, antidepressants, and antipsychotic drugs brought him back from incredibly dark places. But many of them had side effects, including weight gain.
Okay, so 363.4.
He says doctors brushed off his weight concerns, leading Hertz to quietly risk his mental stability.
I would go off the medication just because I felt if I went off, I could go back for my weight and how I looked at myself.
Experts say 25% of psychiatric patients gain weight on their medications. Studies suggest antidepressants can lead to an average weight gain of 1 to 3 pounds per month of treatment.
And yet it's not really something that's taken as seriously as, I feel and I know patients feel it should be.
Leading experts say patients need coordinated care. People with mental illness die up to 15 years earlier than those without psychiatric issues. And it has less to do with suicide and more to do with heart disease and diabetes, which are impacted by weight gain.
It's almost as if patients have to choose between which chronic illness that they're prepared to accept. And I think that that's a really difficult situation to put patients in.
Doctors may not talk about weight because there are no easy answers, but experts insist just having the conversation can help patients mentally prepare for the changes ahead.
Making them aware of what's the evidence in terms of best treatments available, what are the risks in terms of weight gain, and having them also consider other side effects as well, and then having an informed choice about what might match for them.
The calories are within good range. I see that you've made some positive changes.
With help from a dietitian and counselor, Hertz has lost 30 pounds, 100 still to go, and he's not taking any more risks.
The weight's secondary, but the meds, I need to have them.
Mentally ready for the next fight of his life. Christine Birak, CBC News, St. Catharines, Ontario.
Netflix is once again putting the spotlight on a difficult topic and raising controversy for how it's done. To the Bone lifts the curtain on anorexia, but the movie is getting mixed reviews, especially from those who have struggled with eating disorders. Salima Shifji has that.
It's only just been released, but To the Bone has already caused controversy for scenes like this one.
It's like you have calorie Asperger's.
Some say it walks a fine line, at times glamorizing anorexia, and counting calories when you're speaking about eating disorders is a problem. The negative buzz around the film was enough for this Toronto support centre to organize a screening, a safe place to watch. But for some, parts of the film were just too painful, triggering complicated emotions.
Just, going in my head saying, I would kill to look like that. I would die to look like that. It makes me feel like there's something wrong with me.
Kira McCarthy made sure she brought a device to distract her as she watches for a second time.
I do think that it was a portrayal of another emaciated white girl. I thought that all but one of the young women and one man in treatment were also all white and thin and experiencing the same symptoms.
That one-size-fits-all portrayal of a complicated illness also irks the head of the center, but ultimately she applauds the film for simply existing.
We want to really actively listen to the message and help people to understand that eating disorders are the #1 cause of death amongst all mental illnesses, that we know that across Canada, up to 1 million people struggle with eating disorders.
Concerns with the movie's trailer prompted an online petition calling on Netflix to pull the film. The streaming service has included this trigger warning at the beginning of the movie, something it initially failed to do with some of the episodes of another controversial series, 13 Reasons Why, which deals with teen suicide. To the Bone star has herself struggled with eating disorders, as has the writer and director. Marty Noxon addressed the controversy around her film head-on with this tweet, which reads, in part, I hope that by casting a little light into the darkness of this disease, we can achieve greater understanding and guide people to help if they need it. Back at the center, Rogers is proud she forced herself to watch To the Bone, but she has a warning for others.
If you're really, really active in your eating disorder, don't watch this. Don't watch it, and don't watch it alone.
And make a plan for how it could make you feel in the days to follow. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Toronto.
A serious parasite is spreading in the Maritimes, leading to the deaths of dozens of birds. And as Carolyn Ray tells us, concerned bird enthusiasts are combing neighborhoods in an effort to save the lives of finches.
As the summer heat kicks in, these Dartmouth neighbors are spreading the word. They're emptying all the bird baths, putting them away for another season.
Where I'm standing, we had a bird bath that was really popular.
The feeders are gone too. It all seems backwards, but this is an attempt to save the birds from a deadly parasite that is spreading through the Maritimes.
Well, it was a purple finch, and I was out raking, and all of a sudden it started hopping along, and then I kind of went to it, and it wouldn't fly away. And he was kind of big. The chest was big.
The problem is trichomoniasis. It causes inflammation of the esophagus, so birds can't swallow or regurgitate. They puff up, their feathers look wet, and they become lethargic. The parasite spreads through wet areas or from regurgitated material, where it can live for 24 hours, making it easy for infected birds to pass it along. It's such a concern, vets and bird groups are asking people to report any deaths so they can track the numbers. So far, Dave Curry has heard of dozens. He says it's the worst outbreak he's heard of in 40 years.
That, again, I think is just the tip of the iceberg. I think many people just aren't telling us, and they don't know what to look for.
Most of the dead birds are finches because they're social and gather in groups, but the parasite can affect any bird species.
An infected bird could go back to the nest with the parasite and feed its young, and those young will become infected and die. A hawk could pick up a small bird that is infected and feed that to their young.
There's no risk this will spread to other outdoor animals or humans, but those who think they're helping the bird population by leaving them food and water might actually be hurting them, which is why experts are asking everyone to stop filling the feeders and empty the bath.
Well, we're going to go up to the cottage this evening and take in our bird feeders, and we're going to be washing them with bleach and putting them away for the summer.
The parasite is usually only a problem between July and October, so if people act soon, they may curb a larger outbreak and prevent more scenes like this. Carolyn Ray, CBC News, Dartmouth.
Up next, British codebreakers helped defeat Nazi Germany. Today, there's a new kind of code and a new kind of global threat.
Celine Dion. She's a big star in France and in her home province of Quebec. She isn't known at all in English Canada, but the young singer could change all that soon.
Whoa, memory blue.
Critics in France and Quebec have called her extraordinary, exceptional, a new international star. What amazes them is her voice and her age. Celine Dion is 15.
Oh, memory blue.
My dream is to be international star.
Off stage, Celine Dion is not unlike most 15-year-old Quebecers. Here she struggles with her very first English interview.
And to be able to sing all my life.
The Dion family, it's musical and it's big. Celine is the youngest of 14 children. She's sung practically since she could talk. At 12, she became professional. At 14, she won the World Song Contest in Japan. At 15, she's won a gold record in France, the first Canadian ever to do it. Now she's at the top of the European song charts. And in Montreal, in the streets or here at a baseball game, she's a celebrity. So in Quebec and Europe, she's a star. But on Yonge Street in Toronto, she'd hardly get a second glance. That's expected to change. Tom Kennedy, CBC News, Montreal.
J'attendais ce moment depuis très longtemps.
I've waited a long time for this, says Celine Dion, the reigning pop diva, at a rare hometown performance in Montreal. But Montreal is not home for Dion anymore. She's nowhere long enough to unpack her bags. Every moment is given over to the business of selling Celine Dion. Ironically, the stage is her only sanctuary.
I love being on stage. It's because every day, everybody's telling me what to do and talk about this and don't mention this yet and don't forget to talk about that and don't forget this and don't do this, don't do that. But on stage, nobody has the guts to come on stage and tell me what to do.
'Cause I'm your lady.
That is a piece of wartime history, an Enigma machine used by Nazi Germany to send and receive coded messages. It was recently purchased at a Romanian flea market for about $150 by a professor of cryptography who knew it was worth much more. This week, it sold at auction for more than $65,000. But as we know, the legacy of the Enigma code encompasses much more than these vintage treasures. Britain broke the code at a facility called Bletchley Park, a site that could once again be stepping into history. Here's another look at Margaret Evans' story.
The ghosts of Bletchley Park have been called from their slumber before now.
Everyone thinks Enigma is unbreakable. Let me try.
Most recently, in the service of movies like The Imitation Game, celebrating the British code breakers of the Second World War, including Alan Turing.
I'm designing a machine that will allow us to break every message, every day, instantly.
Now, they're being called on again, this time as Britain seeks to up its game in the world of cybersecurity. By 2018, these old buildings, once buzzing with the pressure and excitement of breaking Nazi codes, will be filled with teenagers at a new college of cybersecurity.
So this is all going to be primarily classroom space down these sides.
Oscar O'Connor is with a private consortium funding the college. Industry advocates say Britain isn't developing enough talent to combat hacking and other forms of cybercrime, from sabotage to industrial espionage to old-fashioned espionage.
No, you're just saying.
It's at coding workshops like this one where they think they'll find the next generation of cryptographers. Raw talent will earn 16 to 19-year-olds a place at the school.
That may be advanced coding skills, it may be cryptography, it may be behavior, it may be that they can intrinsically think like an adversary.
The history seeping through these old walls, however derelict, will certainly help put the college on the map. The National Museum of Computing is also at the Bletchley site. Meet Colossus, at least a replica of the original, the world's first electronic digital computer. Created in 1943 by the Bletchley team to break the codes used by the German High Command.
That special.
Trustee Margaret Sale says there is a link between the original cryptographers and the type of students the new school wants to attract.
They were rather special. What we're aiming for at G Block is, in fact, to pick out the youngsters with extra talents, the people who don't just take things at face value.
One of the most surprising things about Bletchley Park was just how little the British public actually knew about it. Virtually nothing until the 1970s, the country's spy agencies having sworn the people who worked there to secrecy.
I never told my husband or my parents what I did. We had to take vows, you see, to say that we would never disclose anything.
Mary Every was recruited by British intelligence as a young woman, sent to learn Japanese and then to Bletchley to translate messages intercepted from Germany's ally.
I could tell you how to bomb an airfield, but I couldn't tell you how to have a cup of tea.
Every isn't a fan of the internet, saying it compromises public and private security. She worries about the lack of government involvement in the planned school, and she doesn't see a link between herself and the potential codebreakers of today.
It's such a different world. It's impossible for you to realize what the world that I grew up in was like.
The new college will help bridge that gap, say its backers, and that the talent pool they create will be available to government and industry alike, preparing students for the workforce or university-level studies. Time is of the essence, says O'Connor.
There are people out there, organised crime networks, nation-states, who spend a great deal of money figuring out ways to use the stuff we buy for perfectly legitimate purposes to subvert us, the organisations we work with, and the countries we live in.
O'Connor admits the cyber school hopes to trade on the Bletchley cachet, but it goes both ways, he insists. The new project will remind people of just how advanced and critical Britain's codebreakers were. A look to the future with a nod and a debt to the past. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Bletchley Park.
Straight ahead, a farmer's market returns to the World Trade Center. Wait till you see what it takes to get in.
This is the National News Bulletin, a summary of the day's news.
Even bad news sounded good in those exciting, terrible days when radio news came of age, especially when read by our own voice of doom, Lorne Greene, when Haas was a colt.
Naval battle in the South Pacific.
Madam, will you please put away that knitting? You're going to have to applaud, you know. Now, let's all relax. Everybody, shall we? Nobody be nervous.
And to balance the glum news from overseas, CBC Radio offered happy-go-lucky fare.
Who's there? It's the Happy Gang. Well, come on in.
It all began in 1901. The discoverer of wireless, Marconi, received his first transatlantic radio message from Signal Hill in Newfoundland.
Hi!
And CBC Radio has been seeing to it that Canada gets the message ever since. In an array of programs from music talk shows like this, ranging through schools and youth, agriculture, religion, serious music, and variety. A busy place, the CBC, and a big country to serve. How do you suppose all these programs get to all the people spread all over the map? Well, if you think of the network as a superhighway, then you can picture national program clearance as the traffic cop who keeps things flowing smoothly. National program clearance arranges distribution of our radio and TV programs by landlines and by coast-to-coast microwave network. Just to complicate matters, there are several problems arising out of the different time zones into which the country is divided, not to mention line availability. Ah, yes, line availability. I said not to mention that. Oh, sorry.
A CBC color presentation.
Let's follow an average broadcasting day from the beginning. It's very simple. There's the business of booking studios, getting the slides to Telecine, last-minute news inserts, coffee to be ordered, public affairs specials, graphics to be ordered and approved, clear screen projection to be set up, stage ads to be scheduled, coffee to be brought, Beads to be lined up, pianos to tune, light bulbs to be replaced, monitors to be serviced, press releases to be issued, coffee to be tasted, props to be picked up, cameras to be fired, shot lists to be typed, rehearsals to be scheduled, contracts to be drawn up, cold coffee to be dumped, memos to be filed.
Hold it, cut. Cut. The only way this will cut is go back to the beginning.
Summer is golden on CBC Sports.
Do you need a little life in your life? Looking for the best in home, decor, food, health, and style? Check us out at cbc.ca/life.
Whether it's relationship advice, DIYs, or fantastic recipes.
It's all there.
And recipes.
Yeah, we mentioned it.
Good.
Pope Francis has earned a reputation as a kind, empathetic pontiff, a progressive reformer with a genuine humility and desire for world peace. But apparently, this pope has zero time for bellyachers. See this sign on the door of his Vatican apartment? It says, "No whining," in Italian. A prominent psychologist gave the sign to the Pope recently. He put it up as a joke, although with 1.2 billion followers around the world, he likely has no shortage of complainers. Well, there was no whining from former U.S. President Jimmy Carter today. He was released from hospital this morning after being treated for dehydration. Yesterday, he collapsed while working at a building site for the charity Habitat for Humanity. But the 92-year-old made it to tonight's closing ceremony.
I was particularly delighted when I got here to Winnipeg and heard that this closing ceremony would be in the Human Rights Museum. We don't have a similar museum like this in America. I hope we will someday.
Carter said he toured the section of the museum devoted to Indigenous people, noting the long period of deprivation and the slow realization that they deserved better. After the 9/11 attacks on New York, it took 13 years for a new office tower to open at One World Trade Center. Now there's another milestone on the long road back to normal. A farmer's market recently returned to the site for the first time since that tragic day. Our Stephen D'Souza discovered normal is still out of reach.
With smooth jazz to set the mood, a bounty of fresh vegetables, some mouth-watering fruits, and a buffet of jams ready to sample, this could be any farmer's market in any city. But a closer look tells you this is no ordinary spot, and that dog isn't sniffing for treats. It's been 16 years since Ron Samascott set up shop here in the shadow of the World Trade Center. He remembers that Tuesday in 2001, how under the tent he could hear but not see what was happening above.
All of a sudden it sounded like you were on a runway of an airport. You could hear a jet motor speeding up.
In those brief moments after the first plane struck, Samascott remembers how some people took a moment to shop before leaving the scene.
Some people came over and they said, let me buy some corn before I go home, or let me buy some apples before I go home. So we were still selling.
That is until the second plane hit. That's when Samascott grabbed what he could and got out. Little did he know, it would be 16 years before he could return.
You know, it's so long ago since it happened that it seems like a different world.
Construction at the site and security concerns made returning difficult. Even now, trucks arrive hours before dawn to be x-rayed, and every worker and driver has to be pre-screened.
I mean, it may take a half an hour, 40 minutes just to get into this spot. They're not letting just any mishmash come in here.
Even with the strict security procedures, farmers old and new say there was no hesitation about setting up at the site. Dorcas Roars and her family's distillery are one of the new additions to the market.
If it's going to make everyone safer, I'm all for it. Doesn't bother us. It's so big deal. You get up an hour earlier.
The return of the market is the latest sign of life sprouting in the area. It sits beside the new shopping and transportation hub that opened last year. And like the produce, patriotism amongst this group is bountiful.
The American people are going to bristle up and, stand up to the challenge and make things better than they were before.
With a mix of tourists and locals, the return of the market is one more step in the long transformation of this site from a memorial to a neighborhood. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.
That's the National for this Friday night. For news at any hour, you can always go to cbcnews.ca. I'm Andrew Nichols. Thanks for watching.